voice breaking. All right! Welcome, everybody. This is going to be one crazy evening. Thanks for joining us. This is the Beakerhead Kickoff. It's been a long time coming. To Marianne Moser, who's in the front row over here, and I started conversations about creating an arts and engineering spectacle in Calgary a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. We both come from the science and engineering world, and it was people like Colin Jackson and Michael Green, whom you'll see later, in the art world, who gave that initial encouragement to us that really is ever so critical. You know, it's not about one person having a good idea. It's about other people who say, yeah, that is a good idea. That's what this night is about. And I can tell you, I've seen lots of good ideas in my time. This, though, is an amazing idea. It's been a long time, it's growing slowly. Tonight, we think, is a turning point. Now, there might be some of you here who aren't quite sure what Beakerhead is, but by the end of the evening, you're not only going to know, you're going to want to get involved. And tonight, we're thanking our founding partners, sponsors, and collaborators. You know, Beakerhead is incredibly ambitious, but in my relatively short time in Calgary as a new Calgarian, I've realized people like to think big here in Cowtown. So please welcome Michael Casey, President and Chair of the Board of the Calgary Stampede.
Calgary Stampede. I want to thank you for having me here tonight and inviting me to say a few words. When I started getting my thoughts together to think about what I could say, I couldn't help but notice the similarities between the Calgary Stampede and Beakerhead. In order to explain that, I need to tell you how the Stampede started. It was a long time ago. It was over 100 years ago. The Stampede started off as a vision of one man, Guy Weedick. About 100 years ago, Weedick, who was an American, he was from New York actually, he was a pretty talented performer, a promoter. He had traveled to Calgary in 1905 with a show, and he fell in love with this area, and he had a vision for what he could do. He had a dream of creating a show that would unite the community, celebrate our unique culture, our Western heritage, local First Nations, and the pioneering spirit of the people that he met here, and create a spectacle unlike anyone else had ever seen, a real Wild West show. He managed to get the attention of 4 local businessmen, Lane, McLean, Cross, and Burns, who have become known as the Big Four. Those Big Four individuals saw his potential, shared his vision, and together they funded his dream. And in 1912, the very first Stampede started. So here we are 100 years later. Beakerhead started as a vision of Marianne Moser and Jay Ingram. Their dream has quickly spread to others and gained momentum and tremendous support, all of which is culminating in the vision we are here for tonight, the kickoff, the opening of Beakerhead. Beakerhead is being defined as a festival of the most engaging and entertaining class. It's also being called a cultural experiment, and that is unusually engaging. Similarities between the two groups are striking, which goes to show that all it takes is a small group of people who share a common vision and a goal. And together, that small group can create real and positive change in this amazing community we call Calgary. I want to congratulate Jay and Marianne on their vision, their perseverance, and their achievement. I want to wish them all the success in going forward and towards the first annual Beakerhead. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Michael. The Calgary Stampede has invited Beakerhead to be on the Stampede grounds to give you a sense of what Beakerhead is going to be like when it's fully up and running. We'll be there this summer, 100th anniversary of the Stampede in 2012. Now, I did suggest that there might be some of you out there who don't exactly know what Beakerhead is, and it's a lot easier to show you rather than to tell you, so take a look. The diversity of art, the wonder of science, feats of engineering. It's ingenuity coming together, coming to Calgary for Albertans and the world. In the downtown core, across parking lots, from restaurants on the ground to dining tables in midair, in backyard sheds and high-tech research labs.
It's the world's most amazing convergence of art, science, and engineering.
It's all starting now.
It's all starting now!
Beakerhead is a celebration of ingenuity and creativity.
A 5-day festival that brings the brains and brilliance
Of kids, teenagers,
parents, grandparents,
scientists, inventors,
artists, and geeks. Everyone.
all together.
All together.
So they can do the unexpected, create art.
And show off who we are, a community of great cultures.
Beakerhead. 5 days in September to celebrate Calgary as the international crossroads of creativity and culture.
Where artists, scientists, and engineers collaborate together.
From robot fashion shows to buildings that become musical instruments, Beakerhead is one of the biggest and best ideas I've seen in years.
It's art, unimagined.
Beakerhead is a people celebration across our city that will show off what we do best in Alberta: imagine and build.
This is the kind of experience that will inspire our kids to go into science, engineering, and the arts.
It's the arts engineering! The engineering and art! Curiosity connected to creativity!
Every once in a while, an idea comes along that hits all the right buttons. Beakerhead. Bang on.
Beakerhead is indoor and outdoor and citywide.
It's an investment in the future to encourage the next generation of scientists, engineers, technologists, and artists
to pursue their creativity so Alberta and Canada continue to innovate and create.
There's so many ideas in my head.
I need a screwdriver
Some paint.
Plastic.
and a beaker.
And a beaker.
And a beaker.
And a beaker.
The eyes of the world will focus on Calgary as we pop their eyes and marvel their minds with incredible creations. Become a part of Beakerhead. Roll up your sleeves as we get ready to show the world a truly amazing Alberta. You know, when I was listening to Michael Casey talk about the origins of the Stampede, it struck me that 100 years ago, the Stampede was celebrating what was most innovative and most ingenious then: agriculture, ranching, and those things that make the Stampede great. 100 years later, Beakerhead is celebrating the ingenuity and innovation of today, which is science, engineering, technology, and art. It's an amazing coincidence.
Now that it's clear what the connection is between Beakerhead and the Calgary Stampede, Jay, maybe it's time that Michael Casey got a new hat.
Thanks a lot. That was fun. My name is Michael Green. I'm the curator and the creative producer for Calgary 2012. Some of you may have heard that Calgary, during 2012, has won the federal designation of Cultural Capital of Canada. Now, it's not just one organization that's celebrating this way. Of course, there's the Cultural Capital of Canada. We're calling it Calgary 2012. There's also the Calgary Public Library, which is turning 100. And there's also Calgary Recreation, which is turning 100. And there's also the Calgary Stampede, which is turning 100, as you know. And we meet 4 programmers together, and we call ourselves the new Big Four. And we know, collectively, when we sit around that table and think about what we're going to be bringing for Calgary, to Calgary, with Calgary in the next few months, we think back and we realize, of course, it's not new to us that Calgary is a cultural capital. It's been a cultural capital of Canada, frankly, since 1912, and we know that. And I bet you a lot of you people out there actually live in a house that was built in 1912. I do. I'll bet how many people here live in a house that was built in 1912? 1912, can you imagine? Like, just in this room, there's quite a few people. What kind of a city was this in 1912? They built this room in 1912. A city of 4,000 people designed a building that would be complete by the time there were 40,000 people in order to have a building like this, so that when the city hit 400,000 people, that's the kind of city we live in. So we're thinking forward, and we're realizing that it's not really just a year's activity and then it comes to a screeching halt. It's not going to be like that. We're really thinking of this as being the beginning of the next phase of who we are and where we are and what we're all about. And that's one of the exciting things I think about Beakerhead this year. We're going to see something come alive in 2012, and we're going to see it really start to move after that. It's kind of like when you peek into Dr. Frankenstein's laboratory and the lightning bolts and all that are shooting and sparks flying, and the creature first starts to move its little fingers. That's kind of what we're seeing here tonight. And I'm very excited, and so thank you very much for having me. And I wish I was going to be taken off like that as well. That's another thing I like about tonight. Everyone got to make a great entrance, didn't they? Thanks, Marianne.
Thank you, Michael. And as long as we're handing out thanks, this is the BAJA car from the Schulich School of Engineering, and Kathleen, Cameron, Jesse, Grant, and Chuck are the people who brought it on, so let's give them a hand. And the Schulich School of Engineering was one of the very first supporters of Beakerhead. Early support, incredibly crucial. If you've started anything, a project, a company, anything, those people that are in at the beginning are those that keep the flame burning even when the winds of recession or anything else threaten to cause it to flicker out. So besides the Schulich School at the U of C, Mount Royal University, SAIT, TELUS Spark, and the Glenbow Museum have all been early supporters. And in the audience, many of the people crucial to that in those institutions are here. So thank you, Jennifer, Guy, Kristen, Brian, Lara, and Hunter. But it takes even more than Calgary's leading post-secondary institutions and cultural organizations to make something like Beakerhead happen. The city, too, is crucial. Council, and of course the mayor. Mayor Nenshi couldn't be here tonight, as you probably all know. It's budget week. He's a little busy. He did send a video, which we're going to play in a moment. But hey, he is the mayor. The mayor deserves to be brought on with pomp and circumstance, Beakerhead style. present Mayor Naheed Nenshi.
Are those robots? Well, that's certainly a first. And I suspect that Beakerhead is going to usher in a whole bunch more firsts for Calgary. I'm Mayor Naheed Nenshi, and I'm thrilled to welcome you to the launch, the kickoff of Beakerhead. 2012 is going to be an amazing year for Calgary. Not only is it the centennial of the Calgary Stampede and so many other great institutions in Calgary, it also marks Calgary's emergence as one of Canada's cultural capitals. And Beakerhead is an important part of that. Beakerhead brings together two incredibly important sectors of our community that maybe haven't always been together: engineering and culture. What do they share? They share creativity, they share innovation, they share that Calgary spirit. And Beakerhead, the first taste of Beakerhead at the Stampede in 2012 and thereafter, will be a great opportunity to bring these people together and to really show Calgary on the world stage, show the kinds of people we have here and the kinds of excitement that we have here. We know that Calgary is a place of incredible, powerful, creative energy, and Beakerhead will be a great opportunity for us to showcase that for people around the world. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too.
Thanks go out from Beakerhead to both Mayor Nenshi and all the councillors in City Council. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, I say it's alright. Every idea needs its first supporter. To be the first takes courage and faith and belief that this project is actually going to succeed. For Beakerhead, the first founding sponsor was Suncor Energy Foundation. Arlene Strom is Suncor's Vice President of Communications and Strategic Relations. Please welcome her to the stage.
Thank you, Jay. On behalf of Suncor, I'm really pleased to be with this group tonight. And from what I've seen and what I've heard before I got here tonight, we know that Beakerhead is going to be a really exciting project. You know, when you bring together engineers, which are the DNA of our business at Suncor, you can't be an energy company without engineers. You know, you still need a little bit of the artists, maybe the communicators, to help tell that story about what you do in an interesting and compelling way. And, you know, it's when you bring together the right brain and the left brain people, and you mix a little bit of innovation and collaboration, that you get some really interesting and maybe even explosive results. So, with that, safety first, we're going to do a little experiment, but I got to get suited up for you.
We're not nervous.
It's for a little bit of a smaller scientist. Okay, we've got the glasses though. Okay, so what I've done for this experiment is we're putting together a little bit of, you know, innovation and collaboration here. We're going to mix it with some artists. Stir that up. Let's see what happens when we add some engineers to this mix. Whoa! Could be a bit of a spectacle. Just like Beakerhead. Thank you very much. It's a real pleasure to be here with you tonight. All right. You know, really, thanks from
bottom of the Beakerhead heart to Suncor for helping us get going. Also, special thanks to the Alberta Government Ministry of Tourism for, again, stepping in early on. Marianne, what are you doing over there? Apparently not much.
Oh. I want one! I want to build one. Things like this are contagious. They make you want to roll up your sleeves and build something or engineer something or create something. I find this a very moving experience. Look, this is what we want to do.
That was the best comment on that one. Awesome.
This is what we want to do in Calgary with Beakerhead, and we can. We're a city of ingenuity, and we have the motivation. We're a very progressive place, and we want the rest of the world to know that.
Your hat's nice, but I think Michael Casey's is a little bit superior.
I was jealous of his.
We've mentioned the founders, and we've mentioned some of the startup funders, and we should say the creative element that exists in this city is right on the edge, poised to start working on Beakerhead.
Look at this list of impressive partners, collaborators.
And you know what? That is an amazing list. Did you call it an impressive list of collaborators or a list of impressive collaborators?
Both.
It is both. And in fact, there are people that aren't yet on that list because the list grows daily. And I would just mention one individual, Jonathan Tippett, who's here in the front row, who is going to play a major role in Beakerhead, and in particular on the Stampede grounds this summer in July 2012. So you're going to be hearing a lot more about Jonathan Tippett.
Here are the important dates. Next July at the Stampede, you'll hear a lot more about Beakerhead. The following September, we'll announce the programming slate, and in September 2013, this city will erupt in a giant laboratory.
And it does bring us back to the beginning when Michael Casey was telling us about the origins of the Stampede. The 2012 theme for the 100th anniversary of the Stampede is that we are stronger together. And you in the audience might be surprised to know that many of you have actually already participated in Beakerhead, because unbeknownst to you, you have actually helped create something that could be called the first Beakerhead artifact. So we would like to bring Shannon Hoover out here to just show us what you all collaborated to build. Come on out, Shannon.
Shannon is a software engineer and an entrepreneur. He's a co-owner of Endeavor Arts, and he is also, as you can see, an inventor.
It's impressive in its complexity. Hey, Shannon. So what exactly is this?
Well, my friends at Protospace and I were wondering what we could do to inspire people to innovate. So what better to inspire people than to create a robot that mixes drinks for you?
Can't argue with that, but telling is one thing, showing is another. So let's just see what you can prepare for us. Marianne and I would like a drink right now, I can tell you that.
Thank you, that would be very, very kind.
Ooh, that is brilliant.
Look, if we can build this in 30 minutes together, think of what we can do over the next few years.
And we do have, just before Marianne and I pick up those drinks, we do have some major thanks. The Association of Professional Engineers, Geologists, and Geophysicists of Alberta, better known as BAJA, not only sponsored this kickoff event tonight, but they've just told us that they're going to support us to the tune of $75,000. So, and just before we have this drink, how about a hand for the Beakerheads?
Okay, thanks, Marianne. I think we should also say thanks to the big two that really started this whole thing, Marianne Moser and Jay Ingram. We're the Beakerheads for tonight only. I think what makes this interesting is there's a collection of people involved in science and technology here on stage here as well tonight. So, right back here on lead guitar, who's also a recording engineer, Steve Dodd. Making all the funky sounds on the keyboards. Garth is a software engineer. This is Garth Kennedy. Holding it down on the drums in the back there, Rob is a civil engineer, Rob Schulich. On the Sideways Bass. A drafting designer, Joseph Schulich. My name is Trevor Day. I'm a biologist at Mount Royal University. All right.
And we want to thank all the volunteers who helped the stage tonight. Jim and Mike, who created this motorized chair. Jasmine, our amazing staff person.
You know, Marianne, Michael Casey told us about the Calgary Stampede Big Four, the ones that got it going. Who are the Beakerhead Big Four?
Well, they're not the same that Michael mentioned. The Beakerhead Big Four is a story that we are still writing. And how can you be a part of that story? Well, you can program something. Anybody can for September 2013. You can be a funder. There are cases for support at the door on the way out. Or you can just join our mailing list. You can put your business card in the robotic hand at the door on the way out. But right now,